Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. As we all know, yesterday a highly anticipated update dropped for Warzone and Modern Warfare 3. It was an update that was set to fix the major reloading and interaction issues that unfortunately Season 3 Reloaded caused, and it sort of plagued the entire game, made Warzone especially clunky when you were trying to navigate the map, sprint and reload obviously, interact with chests or doors or pick things up, stuff like that. Multiplayer gameplay obviously was impacted too, so yesterday's update was one everyone was looking forward to, and it dropped, and COD does not have a good track record right now of updates dropping and things going smoothly, because yesterday's updates and the patch notes that were associated with them directly addressed the reloading issue and the interaction issue and whatnot, but it didn't actually fully fix everything. They ended up fixing some of their fixes, which we'll talk about here momentarily, but part of yesterday's update is still very broken, unfortunately. So we're going to dive into yesterday's patch notes. There's a little bit of a recap here. As we can see, they say they fixed the issue causing automatic tac sprint to interrupt attempts to reload a weapon. And when this update first dropped, this was not fully the case. It allowed players who used automatic tac sprint to reload their weapon if they didn't touch anything while they were reloading their weapon, but players who used basic automatic sprint or single tap sprint, single tap run, stuff like that, the bug was still entirely present for them. Now, there have been some updates to this that we'll get to in just a moment, but first, before we jump to that, they also say they fixed an issue causing prioritize interact settings on controllers to prevent players from reloading. And really with this is the issue is when you're reloading, you're not able to interact with chests, or you're not able to pick things up off the ground if you're in a loot pile because you just took somebody out. You're basically hard stuck in the reload, and then once that finishes, then you can open up a chest, then you can pick up plates or pick up a streak or whatever it is, or close a door, right? But not while, which is what was happening before, and everything was fine. Well, this was not actually fixed because that issue is still very persistent. There are times where it seems like, okay, the interaction worked as normal, or if you change over to like prioritize reload, you can reload and hold to open up and interact and pick things up. So there are ways to navigate it, and it doesn't seem like it is consistently happening every single time it's completely broken, but it's definitely not fully fixed, and that sort of interaction with reloads still feels very clunky and very wonky. Also, this is a section from yesterday's update video where I was going through the patch notes, and you can see on the multiplayer side of things, there's this specific tab just above the zombies option where they talked about rank play and how they restricted a new suppressor in the EMD mine and the enhanced vision goggles. Well, surprise, surprise, those restrictions also did not make it into the update. And funny enough, I was checking the patch notes because I was like, I swear this was noted in here. And when you refresh the patch notes now and you scroll down, they just completely took that section out of the patch notes entirely, because when COD Updates posted, hey, new updates live, here's the patch notes, there were a bunch of responses saying, this stuff's not restricted in ranked. I can still use the suppressor. I can still use the enhanced vision goggles. So that was a premature patch note, I guess. It was supposed to be in the update, but it didn't make it into the final version. So they just completely removed that from the patch notes entirely, and it'll probably reappear whenever we see more patch notes go live, whenever that is. So yeah, unfortunately, yesterday's supposed to fix all the game-breaking issues update didn't fix all the game-breaking issues. The good news is, though, as I alluded to earlier, is they did fix some of their fixes that didn't fix things. So COD Updates posted this yesterday afternoon saying, hey, new updates out for Warzone. This would also apply to multiplayer and zombies as well. We've updated tactical sprint to no longer interrupt the weapon reload animation if a player begins to move and taps the sprint keybind. This applies to controller and PC. Players will simply reduce to normal sprint speed until the end of the reload. So this is working exactly like it was before the update now. But when the update first dropped, if you had automatic tac sprint, or if you used basic automatic sprint or single tap to sprint or anything like that, you could start reloading in a basic either walking speed or standard sprint speed, but the second you clicked your left thumbstick in to tac sprint or to get that full sprint, or if you pressed shift on your keyboard or whatever your sprint keybind is, it would stop the reload immediately. So that was a huge impact to pretty much everyone still. It really wasn't a fix for the reload issue. So they did put this update out now and they addressed that. So reloading and sprinting and reloading on the move now seems to be working entirely as intended, regardless of your automatic sprint layout. If you're using automatic tack sprints or nothing at all, or automatic sprints, that all should be working as intended. When I was playing last night, I wasn't having any issues with that. However, COD Updates has not posted about the interaction bug still being present, which I felt plenty of times while playing last night, which is very unfortunate because that one's also a major disruption to just general game flow. By the way, as we are going through all the updates, all the changes, or things that weren't updated and weren't changed, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. It is always really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, everything like that is right here. So feel free to hit that sub button to guarantee you are always up to date. Now, COD Updates did also post another thing that they ended up updating. So new update, new patches out for Modern Warfare 3. We've deployed a fix, or deployed an update to address an issue preventing the week 6 get quickscope kills at the MCW challenge from tracking progress. So if you're going for your AMR 9 burst aftermarket part there and you're trying to do this challenge with the MCW, I think it's like 15 quickscope kills or something like that. It wasn't initially tracking at all. Now that should be working. So if you're going for that on the multiplayer front, you shouldn't have any issues with any of those specific weekly challenges. Obviously for zombies and Warzone, this wouldn't apply the same, but nice to see that that was updated pretty quickly. If only that speed was applied to some of the other problems. And then lastly, just briefly taking a look at some of the Trello boards here, they have changed around a few things here. As you can see, for instance, that quickscope kills with the MCW was initially listed as fixed scheduled, so they'll have to go through and update that and bring that over to the released and resolved tab there. But they still do have fixes scheduled for the Beast Glove blueprint still not being fully functional with camos and everything going on there. The Season 3 perks and equipment being unintentionally available in ranked play. So this was supposed to be fixed yesterday, obviously, as we mentioned, but they do still have a fix scheduled for that too. And they quietly released a couple of fixes here, but they didn't officially post everything on it. So for the Dev Error 5433 that was going crazy after the Season 3 Reloaded update, allowing PlayStation players to not get on the game at all, they did fully release a fix for this. Now they just didn't post about it on the COD Updates account. And I kind of understand why this one wasn't fully updated or said or mentioned, because that probably would not have been well received. The store was fixed on PS5. There was a visual glitch with some bundle tiles, so they did fix the store promptly. And obviously if they post that, they're just going to get oh, of course the store is fixed, because quite frankly the store seems to never break. But yeah, they do have a couple of fixes scheduled here for other things. They're still investigating prestige camos not being available on MW2 weapons either. And then on the Warzone front, as mentioned, that auto tac sprint reload, that should be fully resolved now, so they would be updating that here probably pretty soon and moving that over to the resolved issues tab. But the interact and reload behavior causing things to not being interacted with or picked up with while you're reloading, still fully broken. And then the lighting, they added this a few days back as well. They are investigating the issue causing abnormally vibrant lighting to occur on various objects and character models, and this seems to specifically be happening when it's the sunset lighting variant for Rebirth, where all sorts of things just start glowing a lot brighter than usual, especially inside of buildings. So that one's not like super game breaking or anything like that. Like, you can still see things just fine. They just look really weird in certain areas on the map. So a couple of other things to look out for here. All right, post edit Zach here. As I was in the middle of editing this video, actually, COD Updates also posted a new thing they are investigating, and it lines up very well with what we were talking about throughout the video. They say, we are investigating an issue that is preventing players from interacting with objects while reloading if they enabled the controller prioritize interact option. So it is official that that's now not fixed with the update, and they are looking into this. Good news there, but we don't have any ETA on to when this could be fixed. And now we've really got post edit Zach, because as I was uploading this video, they actually just dropped a minor patch that actually includes some patch notes here for multiplayer and Warzone that addresses some interesting things. So they do say, with global progression, weapon prestige camos are now available to unlock on MW2 weapons. For gameplay, they say they resolved an issue causing arcade mode weapons and power-ups to retain into other playlists. However, there's bugs and cheats going on with that we'll be talking about in the future that doesn't seem to be fully accurate. For weapons and attachments in multiplayer, the Lockwood MK2 Warden's conversion kit got some updates. They increased the standing hip fire, and then on the gauge slug shell ammo for the Wardens, they added hip fire maximum and minimum penalties. They increased the bullet velocity. They decreased the near to medium damage and damage range. They added a medium damage range. They decreased the minimum damage range, and then they also adjusted the multipliers a tad bit. And then on the gauge ball ammo, they decreased the standard hip fire minimum spread benefits, and they also re-added in those ranked play restrictions that we talked about yesterday. Didn't go through with that broken update. Those restrictions are now supposed to be live. And then over on the Warzone side of things, all we saw here was an update to the Lockwood MK2 as well with the Warden's conversion kit, adjusting the damage sum. The near medium damage was actually increased, as was the range. The mid damage range was increased. The standing hip fire minimum and maximum spreads were adjusted. The slug shells, they added hip fires minimum and maximum spread benefits and penalties. They resolved an issue where the damage values weren't actually working as intended. Then also on the gauge ball ammo, they decreased the standing hip fire minimum benefit and the standing hip fire maximum benefit as well. So some surprise patch notes, but still not fully fixing everything that's broken. That being said, that is going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out so you can guarantee you're always up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.